Coach Steve here. I wanted to jump on. It's been a while since I've had an interview, but I wanted to jump on and not do something rash on my phone and out in the streets. But also wanted to see what everyone else was kind of thinking about it. In regards to my boys in Detroit, the Detroit Red Wings. And I wanted to have some take on this because it's important to me. Um, the Red Wings have been a big part of why I've started playing hockey, why I've started doing coaching, everything else. But I'm there's a few things I want to talk about, and I'm going to point a finger directly at a lot of people in the media. Dylan Larkin is not the problem. Dylan Larkin is not the problem. Todd McClellan is not the problem, and I'm going to explain why. Dylan Larkin has been injured for a while. He's playing injured just to make sure that his team has a chance at anything, just because he is, and anyone, you can come at me any way you want to, he is the best player on the Detroit Red Wings. He is. Plays both sides of the puck, plays hard, gets in the middle of scrums, protects his teammates, and on top of it, scores goals, is lightning fast, and is, to me, a good leader. Also, as I've heard in many things, and I know a lot of you guys that are like, I'm brand new podcasters, and I'm a fan of I've been a fan forever. Players, fans, and coaches. I'm all three of those. Have a bit of a disagreement with you. I'm going to tell you that right now. I don't think it has anything to do with the room. I don't think it has anything to do with the core. But I do think that there are two words that need to come into play, and it is grit and it is performance. When you play at the NHL level, it's not we drafted you, we'll see how you develop. No, that's why they draft so many players. They draft so many players to see if you can get one little needle on that haystack. So don't get off all on that. Also, don't get your head sucked into analytics and crap they say on bigger media and other places. Analytics is only an aid in coaching. The coaches that are there, the coaches that we have generally are not analytics driven. They get the data, they implement it, and they hope their players perform. These are NHL players. They're playing in the best league in the world. So they need to perform. Lucas Raymond, right here. Lucas Raymond was one of the most dynamite players in the Olympics, and he has quieted a bit, but he's still producing. Patrick Kane, yes. He said today, and I waited because I wanted to wait for him to respond because he's a consummate pro, Hall of Famer. He apologized for his moment, his penalty. He didn't mean it to happen. He knew it was detrimental. And listen, he's not happy about it. But Patrick Kane has done nothing but perform and play great hockey, be a great pro, and hopefully show some of these guys that are starting to be superstars how to become a superstar. I think he should always have an A on his jersey, but that being said, Moritz Seider going into the Olympics, and this is not his fault. It was just because the team in front of him, Moritz Seider, was ready for maybe a Norris Trophy. He will get one in his career, and I hope he will be wearing a Detroit Red Wings jersey when he does so. The overarching problem, as I mentioned, is performance. In March, we have stunk. Going into the Olympics, we were one of the top 3 teams in the Eastern Conference. We have done nothing but just hold your nose and watch and hope for the best, because we've had some games. We played pretty good against the Sabres. But this past weekend, yes, the Rangers, as a person who lives in New York City, and seeing how that ended up happening, not live, I was in Danbury, Connecticut, but listening as I was on my way up there. It's unheard of The Red Wings cannot play good against bad teams. It's just they've done it all year long. Even when they were good, they weren't good against bad teams. They seem to show up against better teams. That being said, Sunday against the Wild, they started good. It was just kind of an up and down game. They let probably the best Russian in the league right now. They let him loose. And also wanted to tell people the first goal was a bounce off a guy's leg. The second goal was Cam Talbot's fault. We should not have Cam Talbot in net. That's my number one, we got to get rid of and things we got to do. Cam Talbot should have not made this year. Sebastian Cossa should have been the backup to Gibson and let them battle. Because what's Talbot battling for? One more year in his career? And Gibson has been great. So I got no problem with John Gibson. It took him a while to get there, but he's been great. And I think next year we know it's going to be Gibson and Cossa. And then Trey Augustine's probably going to be in Grand Rapids with who has been great. Grand Rapids has been amazing. So goaltending aside, defense. Simon Edvinsson has really had an up and down year. He's still good, but I don't think he needs to be on the top line with Mo. I think Falk being injured probably hurt this week, but I don't think it was the major problem, because the major problem is performance. On all the rookies, and I'm gonna start naming some of these rookies. Emmett Finney was brought in too early, and whoever wants to tell me I'm wrong, I don't care, because he's not performing. He's still playing hard. He's playing top notch time, and on the top two lines, but I don't think he should be there. Larkin and Raymond have a line with a winger that they're teaching instead of a winger that is supporting them and pushing them forward, and that's huge. Second line, I want to say Kane and Cat. Cat every year has gotten better. Alex DeBrincat should have made the U.S. team. He should have 100% been on that team over JT Miller. Same with Cole Caulfield. Could say we could probably pull someone else away from that. But listen, Alex DeBrincat has done nothing but been well for us. He has been consistent. Yes, he has bad games, but everybody has a bad game. No one's going to score a hat trick every game. That's not going to happen. There's no Gretzky or Lemieux or, Crosby in his heyday. It's just not going to happen. So my biggest problem is Andrew Kopp. Andrew Kopp is the Justin Abdelkader of the next step. Justin Abdelkader had a good year and then never performed out of it. And then, in fact, where is he at now? I think he played in Europe or something. Nothing against Abdelkader. Love the guy. I know he's a Michigan kid, just like myself. So I can't be too hard on him. But I can be because of the fact that Ken Holland gave him a big old contract that he did not deserve. And Andrew Kopp is in that situation. He should not be in the second line center. Marco Kasper should not be the second line center. Marco Kasper has not had a good year. I don't think Marco Kasper was okay last year, but I think he had two guys supporting him. We have to have, on the top two lines, we have to stop having two players that the other two players support instead of having a player that supports them. So Larkin, Raymond, Cat, Kane have to come back. I hope they don't go anywhere. I don't care about all this stuff about Larkin and leadership. And I know I'm from Waterford, Michigan. I went to the Lakeland Hawks. I went to Lakeland Arena. I played there. I love me some Dylan Larkin, but listen, he's not the problem. Before I go to third, fourth line, Tom McClellan's not the problem. The coach is not the problem. I think Tom McClellan was a huge addition, and when we got him, he did nothing but make those kids play. And you know what? He's hard. He's a hard coach. He's a hard coach. That's what we need. Darren McCarty today said, there's no one, the effort's not there. And again, that's performance. The effort's not there. And the effort's not there because guys have to look over their shoulder all the freaking time. Steve Yzerman, when he was at his best, had Gerard Gallant and Bob Probert with him. Yeah, those guys could fight, but those guys could also help. So when is the Red Wings going to make? And then here's my second big oopsie, and it's Steve Yzerman. Steve Yzerman needs to move to the president role and let either Chris Draper or Sean Horkoff come in as the GM. It needs to happen. Those guys have been more closer to the prospects and actually NHL scouting as well. So we need to bring in a player that we have some grit with. We should have went after Vincent Trocheck. We should have went after Robert Thomas. We should have went after players like that because they play hard, but they also end up on the score sheet. And you know what? Ending up on the score sheet with a goal, an assist, or a penalty minutes does not work. A 5 minute penalty does not bother me too much because here we go. Third and fourth line. Appleton. Absolute garbage. I'm sorry. We should never got him. He has done nothing. I see him lose the puck thousands of times. He is okay on the PK, but no. JT Comper, all we get out of him is faceoffs. Yes, he had a really great third period in Minnesota, but that's the first time I've heard his name. And this is a thing for all you fans or all you guys that think but don't know how to skate. I've never put boots on your feet and actually tried to go and perform on ice. This is the biggest problem. JT Comper is done. We have to get rid of him. I'm sorry. He has done nothing. He has done nothing but do this. Completely dive downhill. So, big problem there. Dominic Shine, I like Dominic Shine, and we should have him on our fourth line. There should be no reason that guy's not there because he's the only one that seems to have any type of grit, have any type of hard play, have any type of, make it hard to play against him. He's the only guy that has that in anybody out of the three or four lines. JVR was the biggest waste ever. Same with Perron. Why does Steve Yzerman keep getting these veterans thinking that that's what's going to help the rookies? Because it's not. Because they're not doing – they might help in the locker room. They might help say, this is how you got to prep and this is what you got to do and blah, 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 blah. But listen, they're not performing. I need David Perron, who has been nothing since we got him in the trade deadline. He has a couple moments where he seems like he has a chance. No. It's JVR had like a little like blip of amazement in I think November and early December. But listen, Moosen has to go. We have this massive kid at center who does not play hard. I think the biggest moment in his career is when Jack Hughes, who's like a foot smaller, hit him on an empty net goal, and he knocked him down. That might be the best thing that the guy's ever had happen to him. The Red Wings need better players. The Red Wings need to start if we're going to talk about prospects, these guys got to come now, and we need to start trading properly. The Red Wings of the 90s got Brendan Shanahan, and we gave away a huge prospect in Keith Primo for him. You know why? Because we knew Brendan Shanahan was going to be the glue that we needed. And you know what Brendan Shanahan did? He did nothing but almost jump out of his skates to beat the crap out of Patrick Waugh. Brendan Shanahan is the kind of player we need. We need a guy that has grit, not a prospect that we hope will have grit. Because the NHL level of grit versus, the USHL or college or whatever, Canadian Major Junior or anything. Okay, that's great. Like Gavin McKenna, breaking a kid's face in Penn State. And they're like, oh, he's indigenous and he's from the Western Hockey League, but he's skinny and he's tall. Let's see how that goes. Porter Martone from Michigan State has already set the tone in with the Flyers. We need that kind of player. Is Carter Bear that kind of player? I don't know. What else do we got? We got a bunch of guys that know how to stick handle. We got Sider. Sider knows how to go there. So anyway, my biggest conclusion is this. If we do not make the playoffs, Steve Yzerman needs to be out of his job. Number one. Number two, layoff of the captain because it's not his fault and he's playing injured. I don't care what you think. It's the room. If you've never been in a hockey locker room, stop saying you know what the room is about. So And I'm talking about at the pro level, minor league level, college level. If you don't know that, then shut your damn mouth, please. Number 3, Mason Appleton has to go. Andrew Kopp has to go. And it has to happen ASAP. ASAP. As soon as the season's over. I don't know. We'll waive them. I don't care. They are so bad and not helpful to us in any way, shape, or form. They're not doing anything. And then 4, the biggest 4 is this. We need to have top 6 players on our top 2 lines, not 2 players on each line helping out one that we hope will be a top 6 player. Andrew Kopp is not a top 6 player. Emmett Finney is not a top 6 player. Casper's not a top 6 player. So on defense, Sherratt's got to go. Time to go. Sorry, even though Sherratt has had, in my regards, a pretty good year, but we got Falk now, and Falk is kind of a similar player when Sherratt was his age. So let's just keep Falk. Let's move on from Ben Sherratt. Maybe Ben Sherratt retires, please. Let's get ASP on the top 4, Edvinson, and then we got to get rid of Bernard Docker. I can't believe we signed him for 2 years. He is absolutely terrible. And Johansson, I call Johansson the cough up king. Every time Johansson has the puck, like, yes, I understand the other day he scored a big goal, blah 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 blah, in the first shot of the game. But listen, I'm looking at his performance through the whole season. All he does is cough the puck up. He does not play hard. When he does play hard, it looks like he doesn't know what he's doing to play hard. So I'm with Darren McCarty today. We need grit. We need effort. And it's not necessarily the players that we have. It's that we need grit and effort. And we have 5 games left starting in a matter of minutes against Columbus. And do I think we're going to make the playoffs? No, I don't think we're going to make the playoffs. But I do think that we have a heck of a chance here when we got to play New Jersey, we got to play Philly, we played pretty good against, and I think we finished with Montreal. And anyway, we have 5 games here, and they're all winnable games. We're not playing Colorado anymore. We're not playing Minnesota anymore. We're not playing Carolina anymore. I think so. We're not playing Carolina anymore, and we're not playing Buffalo anymore. So, we need to dig out these points. Otherwise, a lot of change is coming, and you know what I believe it's going to be, but we'll have to see. Chip away at 1 goal, chip away at 1 game, and see how this goes. Because I know what's going to happen. If the Red Wings somehow get this win against Columbus tonight, everyone's going to be the exact opposite. They're just going to flip the script. Well, it's surprising. I'm so surprising they played so well. Yeah, shut the F up. Like, don't sit here and start barking at your team that, like, this one guy in Woodward Sports or whatever it is, he's like, oh, I'm getting depressed about this team. Get over it. Get over it, man. You have no idea what you're talking about. In fact, if I remember right, what you mentioned is that since 1990, basically since the mid-'80s, the Red Wings have been good, right? Once we got our Russians, we were the best. And then from there, we've been good for the 90s all the way up to 2000, I would say 11, 12, where it really started to go down, right? Listen, no team is going to be lights out. Name to me one team that's been lights out for the third, 50 years. Not one. In all sports. Maybe a couple in soccer. I don't know. I don't know about soccer. So I know Lakers have been bad, but been good. Celtics have been bad, been good. Look at the Patriots. Bad. Now they're good again. I don't know, man. Don't sit here and start saying, "Oh, I'm so depressed. I've never felt any worse about a team." Come on, man. 2 years ago, we lost. We missed a playoff spot by 1 point. Thank you, John Tortorella. So we're on the cusp, but Detroit's got to stop March. March has to go away. And listen, no matter what, no matter if you lose, no matter if you don't make it to the playoffs or whatever, I'm still wearing this hat. I'm still supporting my team. I'm gonna cheer for whoever's in the playoffs and see who makes it because I love the sport. I'll watch hockey until no matter what's on. I'm not gonna just walk away from my team like a lot of fans only do. But if you're an athlete and you know how hard it is to play, then stick by your team and hope for the best. That's all you can do. More to come from Coach Steve. I got I've been working with these Swift hockey sticks that I think you all need to get your hands on because for $179.99, it is a high performing stick. I know because I've went through the crappy ones. I've went through the cheap ones. For $179, you get a really amazing performing stick. You can pick all your kick points. You can pick all your curves. Thankfully, they have the P88 now. But you gotta go for Swift hockey. Save a few bucks. Highly recommend it. Puck PVCK. You'll find them on social media and online. Make a great supporter, a jock supporter, and they've got great hats and great clothing. And then on top of it, my people at True giving me the wonderful skates, and I just got some new insoles that are slick, so I can reach them. Been working with these 7X4s because I was asked to see the difference between the Catalyst Pro and the Catalyst 7X4, and I'm going to tell you there's not much of a difference. They're a high performing skate, especially for a heavy guy like me. Anyway, Coach Steve signing off. Time to watch the Wings hopefully beat the Blue Jackets.